week 10. Finally get back with you guys. I'm sure you guys missed me. I missed Jerry for sure. I don't know about the rest of Chris. I don't know, but we've had a good, I guess, almost a week away. Just getting ready for a good North Carolina football team. I don't think you guys want to go back and talk about the last game. I don't even remember who we played, to be honest with you. But it's all about North Carolina and who they are. But they're a good football team, and I think you look back, I think they're very similar to what we are, and I've told our kids the same thing. They lost a first-round quarterback to the Bears, who's playing pretty good for them. Switzer, as you guys know, for the last 4 years, that guy's been a pain in our tails with punt returns, and last year I think he had 17 catches. So they lost some good football players that are playing in the league. And that's just to mention two of the guys that I remember offhand, and I know there's more than that. But they're a team that just continues to get better, I think. I mean, you look at Miami game their last outing, they should beat Miami, my opinion. They take the second drive of the game, hit a couple big plays, get it down to the 1. They think they're in. They go back to the review, say they're not in. It's 2nd down and 1 at the 1. They get TFL. It's 3rd down. They run a little naked to the left. Don't get in. They go for it on 4th down, so they get no points. I mean, they lose by 6, get no points out of that drive, but they're, and the quarterback gets the ball tipped, the guy's wide open in the end zone. Okay, so, obviously Larry Fedora does a great job coaching. Got a ton of respect for him and his staff. I know a few guys on that staff as well, and they just keep plugging away, and I think they continue to get better. Their last few games, I mean, you talk about Notre Dame, Virginia, who is a 6-3 football team, Virginia Tech, 7-2 football team, and obviously, Miami, and where they are being a top 4 team potentially. So, we're, our work will be cut out for us. I know some of you guys will probably think it's an easy game. We've stressed with our kids it will not be an easy game. I guarantee you that. Thursday night should be fun.
It seems like they have uncertainty about their quarterbacks or lack of clarity about who's going to be playing. What do you see from each of those guys that kind of stands out about each of those?
Well, I think they got probably more clarity than you do or I do. I mean, if you looked at the last 6 weeks at least, they've had the same depth chart at the quarterback spot. So, barring any, if you just look at the last 6 weeks, they really don't tell you on a depth chart. But all 3 of them are good. I mean, when you look at it, I'll talk about, the starter Brandon Harris for the year, obviously a transfer from LSU, a left-hander, good football player, could run. I mean, he was the original starter. They list him as a starter this week, so I don't know if he's back or not, but I'm sure they do. And then, Surratt, again, Chaz is another left-handed quarterback that I think is really good. I think he throws a great deep ball, which always got to be aware with our corners and pressing and giving him the ball out there. But I think he does a great job, and he's athletic and can run. And then the guy that took over after I think 27th play last week, Nathan Elliott, is a coach's kid from Texas. He's tough. His first play in the other day they throw a pass and it's a throwback to him. So he's they got 3 capable guys that I think, and are any of them. Trubisky, probably not, but none of ours are Peterman yet either. So that's even right there. So.
Thank you. We're building up some momentum there with 2 wins in a row. Then you 5. How do you, or the off week? I'm sorry. How do you continue that? When you're not playing a game.
You go out the next time and win again. That's.
Keep the momentum up going into the next game.
I mean, how do you keep it going after 6 or 7 days? It's the same way. It's no difference if you make a big deal out of an open week and say, oh my gosh, you had momentum going, it doesn't matter. I mean, you got more days to prepare, so the momentum should be, the same. They got the same days to prepare as we do, so it's even. It's, probably look at it, we've played hard against each other out there. We've competed, so we've played the game. We've had some good periods against each other. I don't think it's a factor. It will not be a factor, win or lose Saturday or Thursday.
Anything on Saturday, this past Saturday, to keep up the routine at all, or did they all?
No, but we did on Sunday. We gave the kids Saturday off. I think these guys have been going for 15 weeks so far. It's with camp starting when it did. The stresses of school. We gave them Saturday off. They lifted on Friday. We had a great practice on Thursday. We practiced on Sunday, so we were Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and so we're right where we need to be.
How do you go into this week with the Thursday night game, and have you changed the way you prepare for the short week game at all now in year 3?
Yeah, well, it's not a really a short week. You know, it's not like playing on a Saturday and playing again on Thursday, which was the problem 2 years ago, in my opinion. And I didn't do a great job of making sure we were fresh. But we were even freshened up a little bit more this year, I think. I mean, we've talked about it a lot. And I thought we had a fantastic practice on Sunday. Thought it was another good one today. But, you know, just getting our kids' legs back a little bit because, you know, when it's a play on Saturday, Sunday lift, meet, Monday, I mean, you get into that monotonous, you know, schedule of what it is. Now it's a little bit different, so I think change is good at times. But, you know, we've kind of lightened up as far as, you know, how long we're going at this point in the season. And again, it's not like it was 2 years ago where, you know, and again, I hope we never have a schedule like that where you're playing on Saturday. I don't think there's any way really to prepare for that because either way, after that game, you're saying, well, we didn't practice enough or we practiced too much. So it's going to get you one way or another. So which one do you want to go with? Being a tired football team or an unprepared football team? We'll be prepared and we'll be fresh.
How you said lighten up, I'm just curious in what capacity.
Length of practices. I mean, just not going out there forever. You know, just cutting back some of the periods. Instead of going 10 minutes of inside drill, you know, which is a heavy run-on-run, cut it down to 7. Just cutting it down, not cutting down what we do, but just slimming down the amount of time. And if the coaches want to get more plays, then you better go faster. But we just, you know, whether it's an ABC period, which you guys are out there for us at times, you know, just scrunching the periods down so we're not on our feet as long during the day.
You mentioned all the guys that UNC lost from their offense, and you talked about the quarterbacks a little. Who still stands out to you as far as their, I guess, new wave of playmakers or guys who are trying to make plays?
You know, I mean, when you look at, you know, offensively, I think their wideout, number 17, you know, wish I knew his name here, probably, what is it? Ratliff. I mean, I think, you know, Anthony, you know, stands out as a guy that will go up and get the ball guy, deep ball guy that Chaz has thrown to and has made some plays deep. I think, you know, when you look at their tight ends, I mean, the Fritz kid from Cleveland Mentor, again, is another football player that does everything that they want to do there. Defensively, you know, and again, the quarterbacks are impressive in their tailback. You know, Jordan Brown, who started every game for him, is impressive as well. And then the Carney kid, defensive end, you know, makes a ton of plays. Number 53, very active. But you know, they got a lot of football players all over the place.
DeMar and Dane have really come on. Would you say they were two of the most improved players on the roster?
I mean, DeMar, it's hard to say he's much improved because you haven't seen. You know, I would say in a year, hopefully we can say he's even more improved than what he is. But I think you can certainly take Dane Jackson and say he's one of the most improved players that we had from a year ago, taking over starting role. And I mean, he's just gotten better. I mean, you look at where our corners were a year ago, you can say, you know, that we've made some major strides in that area for sure. But DeMar, again, you know, much improved from health purposes for sure. I mean, he feels much better. You know, his attitude's much better because he gets to play. But the product on the field, I think he can still be a lot better too. Not that he's bad, but I think he will. We're going to see once he gets to practice. I mean, he hasn't had a preseason camp yet. He hasn't had a spring ball yet, so he's just playing.
How much do you sort of remind the guys that North Carolina, no matter who's new on their team this year, that's a program that you guys haven't beaten since you've been here and even since they've been in the ACC?
Well, you know, we reminded them on Sunday, I think, and you know, we don't need to harp on it. I think it's a fact, and I think it's something they know. Most of the guys in this room were here. You know, they look back and watch tape. We've watched, you know, extensive tape of the last 2 years of what they did, what they like to do, how they do things against, you know, Pitt. So, you know, I think they're well versed on how that game finished up last year, and understand, you know, what we're dealing with.
Is that North Carolina team that, you know, you look at 1 and 8, and then you look at the film and it doesn't quite line up? So I think about 5 of their games they were ahead or within a score midway through the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, then, you know, again, playing good teams, ACC's competitive, and you know, sometimes you lack that guy in the back. You know, if they don't have Trubisky last year, you know, they don't beat us. So take him out of the mix and try to develop a new guy and really play 3 quarterbacks, you know, which is what we're playing, 3 quarterbacks too. So I think they're very similar to us. They're dangerous and can beat anybody every given day, but they got to be on, and their young players got to make plays.
There's a lot that's gone into your running game, of course, but Darren specifically over the last 2 games, have you seen something different from him, or maybe just what you always thought was there and it just kind of came through, or what have you seen the last 2 games?
You just see him making plays, and I think he's playing a little bit faster. I mean, sometimes it clicks. You'd have to ask him to find out, hey, what's the difference in the last 2 weeks compared to, the last year. But he's playing at a higher level. Maybe, again, that's what we talk about developing. You never give up on a kid after his freshman year, sophomore year, junior year. I've seen guys, throughout in the fourth year all of a sudden start playing the best football that they played. But Darren's a good football player. When we recruited him, we knew he was talented, and we're kind of getting what we thought we'd have, and I think he's got confidence now. So, but as I said last week, you're great on what you do for us lately, and he's got to go out and have another one and stack another great game on top of it. Another 100-yard plus would be nice.
Henderson punt return was just sort of another reminder of what you can do with the ball. I mean, in terms of getting him more involved offensively, though, what's it going to take to do that? Is it just a matter of him getting open more, or Ben looking for him more?
In the pass game, you can't look for a guy. I think you get in trouble when you look for a guy. I mean, I think Ben got in trouble last, I guess a Saturday ago, 2 Saturdays ago, looking for a guy, trying to throw to Flanagan. You can't throw it to guys. You have to read. You have to, do what your quarterback coach tells you to do and read your coverage. But I think you get in trouble when you do that. But he's got to get open. We got to give him the ball in the run game as well. But he's got, the look has got to be what we need it to be. And then, we got to find ways to get in his hands, make it like a punt return. So we'll see. We just got to keep trying to get in his hands, and then he's got to make plays when he gets it. He's had opportunities to get the ball and stumbled around. So he's got to start to visualize some big plays on offense.
Shane called the Virginia game, Shane Roy, like the defensive line's coming out party almost. Did you see that as like a major step for that unit, that game?
It was a coming out party because he got his first sack. So, I hope so. I hope so. Weaver had a nice sack, and like I said, they can talk all they want. I want to see it on Thursday night.
Where have you seen their progression as a unit in these last couple of games?
Well, I think the progression's been in the quality of depth that we've got. I mean, if you go back, and again, it seems like forever, but Keyshawn Camp and Dwayne Hendricks didn't play in that game, and so I think Coach Partridge has developed the depth in that room. Number one, I think they understand what they're supposed to do, and I think again, just like Darren Hall, with a young football team, it takes reps, it takes game reps. You can't just practice all day and become great players. It's like being great in history class all day and paying attention, but you never have a test. The test is where you find out if you're better or not. And some guys get choked up on game day or test day and don't test well. I think they've had enough tests that they start to, grow older. The game starts to slow down a little bit. Things start to seem to come a little bit more comfortable for them. And I think that's what you're seeing. They're no better athletes. Okay, they're probably as strong as they were. We hopefully maintained our strength. They're no faster than they were. Their fundamentals are getting better, and their confidence in that game tempo.
Speaking of the D-line, do you anticipate having Dwayne and Keyshawn back?
Guess you'll get an injury report soon. I don't know.
You talk a lot about the fine details, and sort of piggybacking on Chris asked you, I mean, in the secondary as a whole, I mean, do you see, you're not going to play in Oklahoma State every week, okay? Nobody is, but do you see?
I wish we had it again.
Do you see those finer things that you guys have been preaching? Do you see the light bulb starting to come on? And what's an example of something that Dane did 2 weeks ago that he wasn't doing 6 weeks ago? Or it doesn't have to be Dane. You just pick.
Any of them. I mean, it's all different. I mean, every year is different. And I look at Oklahoma didn't stop Oklahoma State either. I'm sitting there thinking about Oklahoma State. It's like, God, who did stop them? Somebody did, I guess. But Oklahoma surely didn't. Watch a little bit of that game this weekend, but I think every week, those guys are different, and Dane is different because he's making plays. I mean, he's just more confident. And again, you can be there in the past. Again, I just think it's game reps that make him better. I don't know if I'm going to pull out a certain play or this or that. That makes him perfect. Same thing with Avante. I mean, Avante's got confidence. He's got those game reps that make him what he is. He's the most experienced guy in the back end. But I think it's just time behind the wheel.
I know you aren't.
Probably didn't answer your question. I apologize.
I know you aren't a huge fan of Thursday night, but is there something I guess fun or special about playing a night game under the lights?
I think it goes back to that Friday night lights, the night game. I think night games are great. And I'm not fond of Thursday night. I'm not fond of Thursday night when you play the Saturday before. But when you got a little extra time to prepare for Thursday night, I think it's great. I think it's a time for our guys to have a little bit of exposure, and and kind of show what kind of football team they are in a national spotlight on Thursday night on ESPN. So I think our guys will be excited. I think they'll come ready to go, and I think it's special to be under the lights. Period.
Any additional questions?
Obviously, Sean worked with Ben spring camp, throughout training camp and the season. But you feel like the last 3 games he's been starting and playing all the snaps. It's kind of evolved. Sean's understanding of what works best for Ben or what he can do best with Ben.
Yeah, I think anytime you get a guy out there and you can see how he reacts in a game, to find out what he does well, what he's not doing well, what do we change, what can we do better. It certainly helps you that way. I mean, again, he's not a finished product yet right now, Ben, and he still needs to continue. We can't just do what Ben likes to do. We got to do what we need to do to win too. So he's got to improve his game in different areas to be a championship caliber football team.
You hear guys talking about getting the 6 wins to make a bowl game. Is that important to them?
You know what? I don't sleep them in the dorms at night. I can't tell you what they talk about anywhere else from here, and I really don't care. I hope they're not talking about that. I hope they're just talking about North Carolina and playing one game at a time. I certainly haven't mentioned it absolutely not one time in here about, hey, if you do this, you get this. No. I mean, it's, our goal is to go out every week and win a football game. And I think if you start thinking ahead, you're going to be in big trouble. But I can't tell you they don't sit, in the dining, facility down here and talk about it. I can't tell you at night they don't talk to their girlfriend about it. I don't know what they talk about. I hope they're talking about North Carolina.
Big picture question. If you look at the conference, Mark's in his second year, Fuente's in his second year, Paver's in his second year, Mendenhall's in his second year. I mean, those guys are having some success. They've taken steps forward. I'm just curious, what did the guys that you played, what have you seen differently about those schools? And as somebody who's just in his second year a year ago, is it just maybe the chance to relax and you kind of got through that first year?
I think it's all about scheduling, really, when I look at it. I mean, Broncos had success, and I think they beat Georgia Tech last week, and it all, I don't look and go evaluate, hey, what's Bronco doing or what's Fuente doing. It doesn't matter. I mean, I think you
Do they look like different teams?
I haven't watched Miami much. We haven't studied them. I'll let you know after the season. But, I think it's, what returning players do you have and how good a football team are you? I think it comes down to that. Those guys were all good coaches. I don't think they got better in a year or two. I think it's, the players you have.
You didn't watch Miami, Virginia Tech Saturday night?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. But, I'm not going to grade them on one game either. You guys going to, sit here and say, Virginia Tech's no good now because they got beat by Miami? No, you can't evaluate a team on one game. So, but I did watch that game for sure.